Officer Rahul Yadav.
Flying Officer Tangbram Kangling Ganba Singh.
Flying Officer Pranav Barathe.
Flying Officer Praganya Kumar.
Flying Officer Pranav Pavde.
Flying Officer Anish Barman Maji.
Flying Officer Aditya Singh Geherwar.
Flying Officer Tejas Mola.
Flying Officer Sarthak Behel.
Flying Officer Raman Deep.
Flying Officer Abdul Junaid.
Flying Officer Sehajdeep Singh.
Flying Officer Nidhi Usha Bisht.
Flying Officer Sandeep Kumar.
Flying Officer Santosh Kumar Kaushik.
Flying Officer SV Satish.
Flying Officer Prashant Tyagi.
Flying Officer Pragya Chauhan.
Flying Officer Karan Ravindra Gulahe.
Flying Officer Omkar Shashishekar Karde.
Flying Officer Ashutosh Singh Chandel.
Flying Officer Biswanath Raut.
Flying Officer Mayank Rajendra Sharma.
Indian Navy and Indian Coast Guard officers award of wings. Lieutenant Sesha Priyan.
Lieutenant Anurag Kashyap.
Lieutenant Kashish Vora.
Sub-Lieutenant Apurva Gite.
Sub-Lieutenant Sumnesh Bharti.
Sub-Lieutenant Manoj Kumar P.
Assistant Commandant Garvit Chauhan.
Assistant Commandant Sparsh Saini.
Assistant Commandant Vishal Bhaskar.
Assistant Commandant Nitin Yadav.
Assistant Commandant Amit Yadav.
Ladies and gentlemen, the reviewing officer will now felicitate the award winners. President's plaque, first in order of merit, flying branch, goes to Flying Officer Prajwal Kulkarni. Chief of Air Staff.
Officer Pratinder Pal Singh Bhatt.
Flying Officer Ayush Kotiyal.
Flying Officer Shivangi Suresh Meel.
Flying Officer Sakshi.
Flying Officer Prajot Naresh Jadhav.
Flying Officer Neerja.
Flying Officer Yashu Nagar Gujar.
Flying Officer Ajay Singh Shekhawat.
Flying Officer Ankita Ramesh Unmare.
Flying Officer Satinder Singh Sandhu.
Flying Officer Jashandeep Singh.
Flying Officer Ashish Kumar.
Flying Officer Swapnil Dagne.
Flying Officer Rana Virkeshwar Singh Sisodia.
Flying Officer Yash Srivastav.
Flying Officer Kumar Sachin.
Flying Officer Shivendra Shakti Singh.
Flying Officer Akash Deep.
Flying Officer Karanveer Singh Thakur.
Flying Officer Rudra Pratap Singh.
Flying Officer Akshay Shri NR.
Flying Officer Shilpa Salaria.
Flying Officer Rishabh Singh.
Flying Officer Shivam Anil Kumar Singh.
Flying Officer Rashmi Rajesh.
Flying Officer Saurav Kushwaha.
Flying Officer Pooja Mithilesh.
Flying Officer Mukesh Shauri Yadav.
Flying Officer Raghavendra Soni.
Flying Officer Kanchan Parmar.
Flying Officer Aishwarya Singh.
Flying Officer Yash Punya.
Flying Officer Pankaj Siol.
Flying Officer N. Gajendra.
Flying Officer Sanjay Kumar.
Flying Officer Gopinath Sharath Reddy.
Flying Officer Rohit Banwala.
Flying Officer Rahul Yadav.
Flying Officer Tangram Kangling Ganba Singh.
Flying Officer Pranav Barathe.
Flying Officer Praganya Kumar.
Flying Officer Pranav Pavde.
Flying Officer Anish Barman Maji.
Flying Officer Aditya Singh Gaherwar.
Flying Officer Tejas Mola.
Flying Officer Sarthak Behel.
Flying Officer Raman Deep.
Flying Officer Abdul Junaid.
Flying Officer Sahajdeep Singh.
Flying Officer Nidhi Usha Bisht.
Flying Officer Sandeep Kumar.
Flying Officer Santosh Kumar Kaushik.
Flying Officer S.V. Satish.
Flying Officer Prashant Tyagi.
Flying Officer Pragya Chauhan.
Flying Officer Karan Ravindra Gulahe.
Flying Officer Omkar Shashishekar Karde.
Flying Officer Ashutosh Singh Chandel.
Flying Officer Biswanath Raut.
Flying Officer Mayank Rajendra Sharma.
Indian Navy and Indian Coast Guard officers award a wing. Lieutenant Sesha Priyan.
Lieutenant Anurag Kashyap.
Lieutenant Kashish Vora. Officer Pratinder Pal Singh Bhatt.
Flying Officer Ayush Kotiyal.
Flying Officer Shivangi Suresh Meel.
Flying Officer Sakshi.
Flying Officer Prajot Naren Jadhav.
Flying Officer Neerja.
Flying Officer Yashu Nagar Gujar.
Flying Officer Ajay Singh Shekhawat.
Flying Officer Ankita Ramesh Urmare.
Flying Officer Satinder Singh Sandhu.
Flying Officer Jashandeep Singh.
Flying Officer Ashish Kumar.
Flying Officer Swapnil Dagne. Flying Officer Rana Virkeshwar Singh Sisodia.
Flying Officer Yash Srivastav.
Flying Officer Kumar Sachin.
Flying Officer Shivendra Shakti Singh.
Flying Officer Akash Deep.
Flying Officer Karanveer Singh Thakur.
Flying Officer Rudra Pratap Singh.
Flying Officer Akshay Shri NR.
Flying Officer Shilpa Salaria.
Flying Officer Rishabh Singh.
Flying Officer Shivam Anil Kumar Singh.
Flying Officer Rashmi Rajesh.
Flying Officer Saurav Kushwaha.
Flying Officer Pooja Mithilesh.
Flying Officer Mukesh Shauri Yadav.
Flying Officer Raghavendra Soni.
Flying Officer Kanchan Parmar.
Flying Officer Aishwarya Singh.
Flying Officer Yash Punya.
From now, you will all take your first steps into the IAF as commissioned officers. As you do so, it is essential for you to know where you are headed and the huge responsibilities that will come to rest on your young shoulders. IAF is undergoing a monumental transformation. Rapid infusion of niche technologies and combat power in every facet of our operations has never been as intense as it is now. This is primarily because of the unprecedented and rapidly evolving security challenges that we face, coupled with the rising geopolitical uncertainty in our neighborhood and beyond. The last few decades have clearly established the critical role of air power in achieving victory in any conflict. It is in this backdrop that IAF's ongoing capability enhancement assumes tremendous significance. All of you are very fortunate to be joining the Air Force at this juncture. The pilots will get to fly fighters carrying an array of potent standoff weapons and connected in networks. The transport and helicopter fleets are equipped with C-17s, C-130s, ALH, Chinooks, and Apaches, which are state-of-art and are capable of contributing equally effectively in war or in any HADR situation. Engineers will need to master the EMMS, which is one of the world's largest networked aircraft maintenance management system that we have established across the diverse types of aircraft. Controllers will have to adapt to vectoring large formations using digitized and networked ISCCS system in the MAFI environment. Logisticians will use automation to drive procurement and resupply through totally automated and computerized networks on inventory management. All of you will be tied together with a completely paperless e-governance suite to enhance the efficiency of basic administration across the entire Indian Air Force. I have always believed that the generation you belong to is technologically adept and well-versed with exploiting the digital space. And now is the time for you to prove it. I can assure you that the environment you will step into when you cross these portals will not only challenge but stretch your capabilities. You will need to hit the ground running and work hard to deliver what the Air Force expects of you. It was with this focus that BTech degree was introduced compulsorily for the Air Force cadets in the National Defense Academy. And I'm happy today to note that the 81 of the 87 graduating officers from Flying Branch today are BTech. I am sure this will facilitate rapid comprehension and exploitation of modern platforms, weapons, sensors, and technologies. Notwithstanding all these advances in technology, as young leaders, you must know that IAF's core strength is in our people, and you must always nurture this strength as you grow. While maintaining operational readiness, IAF has been proactively assisting in the national fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. Proactive vaccination and strict COVID discipline within the Air Force enabled us to undertake all COVID tasks on a war footing. IAF's heavy lift capability was put into action for lift of crucial COVID-related equipment, wherein our transport fleets flew more than 3,800 hours in just under 2 months, in a huge effort across the globe and domestically to transport not only oxygen tankers, but all the COVID-related oxygen medical equipment and supplies. You are joining the field that operates at this level across the spectrum. It's also essential for all of you to bear in mind that as future leaders, you will stand shoulder to shoulder with your comrades in olive greens and whites and prosecute integrated operations. You will be an integral part of this important transitions in the years ahead. Before I conclude, once again, I congratulate the newly commissioned officers for your achievements. And as you grow in your career, you must face each challenge with determination and courage. Conduct yourself with dignity and honor, and aim for the highest professional standards. Lead by personal example and uphold the ethos and culture of the IF, always and every time. Jai Hind.
Ladies and gentlemen, the band will now play the national anthem. You are requested to rise and sing along. देवियों एवं सज्जनों, आपसे अनुरोध है कि निशान के सम्मान में आप अपने स्थान पर खड़े हों और जो यूनिफॉर्म में है ध्वज को सल्यूट करें।
Ladies and gentlemen, to honor the Nishan, all are requested to rise and those in uniform to salute.
The band is now playing Prahar the Quick March, composed and arranged by Junior Warrant Officer Robert John George. And to this tune, ladies and gentlemen, you can now view the cadets of the junior course forming up in two flanks right in front of you. The newly commissioned officers are taking their positions at the rear, waiting to step into their new world. These newly commissioned officers will pass through this formation in slow march, recollecting their memorable stay at this academy. Each step signifies their transformation to bold and responsible officers of the Indian Air Force, ready to serve the nation.
As the newly commissioned officers receive the first salute from their juniors, their hearts are filled with immense pride and satisfaction for having passed down to them the cherished values and traditions. As they slowly march down this lane, they also remember those people associated with them in their year-long training who have helped them to make it to this day. An indelible moment for them and their families. Ladies and gentlemen, as the first rank of newly commissioned officers approach the dais, may I direct your attention to the 3-aircraft formation led by Wing Commander Akhilesh Singh, which you can see approaching from straight ahead.
As the newly commissioned officers go past the saluting dais, they extend their first salutation as officers to the reviewing officer who has commissioned them on behalf of the President of India. This is indeed a moment of great pride for both the newly commissioned officers as well as all the instructors and supporting staff at the academy and other training establishments.
इस क्षण मुझे हिंदी के एक प्रतिष्ठित कवि सोहन लाल द्विवेदी द्वारा रचित कुछ पंक्तियां याद आ रही हैं। न हाथ एक शस्त्र हो, न हाथ एक अस्त्र हो, न अन्न वीर वस्त्र हो, हटो नहीं डरो नहीं, बढ़े चलो, रहे समक्ष हिम शिखर, तुम्हारा प्रण उठे निखर, भले ही जाए तन बिखर, रुको नहीं झुको नहीं, बढ़े चलो, चलो नई मिसाल हो, जलो नई मशाल हो, बढ़ो नया कमाल हो, झुको नहीं, रुको नहीं, बढ़े चलो। ये पंक्तियां संदेश हैं इन नवोदित अधिकारियों को। आज की ये शहर इन पंछियों की नई उड़ान बनकर आई है। भारत माता के ये वीर सपूत अपने लक्ष्य की ओर निकल पड़े हैं और ये कहते हैं, जिंदगी की उड़ान अभी बाकी है, जिंदगी के कई इम्तिहान भी बाकी हैं। अभी तो नापी है मुट्ठी भर जमीन हमने, अभी तो सारा आसमां बाकी है, अभी तो सारा आसमां बाकी है।
Ladies and gentlemen, as the last few ranks of the newly commissioned officers approach the dais, may I direct your attention to the 3 Hawk aircraft formation led by Wing Commander A. Raina approaching from straight ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere, as in a short while, we'll be presenting in front of you a scintillating display of aerobatics by the Pilatus PC-7 Mark II aircraft.
Ladies and gentlemen, We now introduce you to the Pilatus PC-7 Mark II aircraft. Look ahead as the aircraft is carrying out what we call a steep takeoff at 100 knots and a 25-degree angle of climb. The Pilatus PC-7 Mark II trainer is a low-wing tandem seat training aircraft manufactured by Pilatus of Switzerland. The aircraft is capable of all basic training functions including aerobatics, instrument, tactical and night flying. Approximately 25 air forces around the world use variants of the aircraft for their ab initio training. Today's display is being carried out by Squad Leader Shashikant Bhutani and Squad Leader A. Mathur. Ladies and gentlemen, look ahead as he's positioning for a hard turn. In this maneuver, the pilot undergoes a gravitational force up to 5G. Watch carefully the path of the aircraft and you shall notice a beautiful figure of 8 emerging out. Hard to do on a driving test, much harder while flying with no margin for error. Qualified flying instructors constantly train ab initio cadets to gain confidence in handling the aircraft and carry out complex maneuvers by the time they pass out of the academy. As he repositions, I would like to tell you that after the induction of the PC-7 Mark II, more than 1,500 cadets have passed out from the portals of this famous academy. Ladies and gentlemen, now kindly shift your gaze to the extreme right. You can see the aircraft coming in straight, carrying out a knife edge. As the name suggests, the aircraft cuts through the air like a knife. This is done by holding 90-degree angle of bank and application of the rudder to hold the nose on the horizon. As she repositions, I would like to tell you that the PC-7 aircraft is a highly capable platform and ab initios gain proficiency in handling the aircraft and systems on board, which help them transition to advanced platforms. Ladies and gentlemen, now as he comes in from your left, let's see what he does next. And the aircraft is flying in vortex. Like they say, us pilots have a very different perspective of the world. You look up at them and they look up at you. All officers of the Indian Air Force have to undergo training at Air Force Academy. The first flying instructor is always special as he is the one who has taught you the art and science of flying. And finally from the right, here he comes. Ladies and gentlemen, keep your eyes on the aircraft as he now carries out a roll in front of the desk as a salute. That was the basic trainer aircraft of the Indian Air Force, the Pilatus PC Mark II. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly hold on to your seats as we bring to you the captivating aerobatic display by the beautiful Sarang in a short while.
Before we begin, a big round of applause for the Team Air Force Academy who were here cheering for newly commissioned officers as an extended family. Jai Hind and a very wonderful morning, ladies and gentlemen. Another successful year has been marked by this prestigious academy. This very place, which molds the youth into a formidable force, is the testimony that Air Force Academy has been and will be the backbone of the Indian Defence Forces. Today is a proud moment for all the families of these newly commissioned officers, and though they are not present here, but their wishes can be felt in the air. So what's better than taking this celebration to the skies? It's a bright day, beautiful weather, a perfect backdrop for turning the sky into the palette of colors of display flying by the Sarang helicopter display team, especially customized to mark the passing out parade of 207 course. Display flying is all about precision and teamwork, ladies and gentlemen. The pilots have to demonstrate very high skill levels as they fly the Dhruv helicopter to the limits of its operational flight envelope. This is the ultimate test in aviation for both the man and the machine. It will be well understood when these Sarang pilots will maneuver the made in India Dhruv helicopter in close proximity to the ground in a daring display of skill. And as the team mottos, but for the rotors we have been closer, presenting to you the Sarang helicopter display team. The team is maintaining a Wick formation while marking this momentous occasion of passing out parade of 207 cores. Sarang 1 is leading the formation, Sarang 2 is formating to his left, and Sarang 3 to his right. Leading the formation is the team leader, Wing Commander Girish Komar, a qualified flying instructor and an instrument rating instructor and examiner. He has been one of the pioneers seen through the fledgling Sarang team to today's one of its kind in the world. The co-pilot of Sarang 1 is the youngest display pilot of the team, Flight Lieutenant Dhanveer Singh. And as you can see, the Sarangs are taking a right turn. And there will be a change from Wick to what we call an India formation. Making an English letter I in the sky. Now this I stands for you, me and our motherland. And for of course these indigenously developed helicopters. Here comes Sarang in India formation. Captain of Sarang 2 today is Wing Commander Sridhar, is the flight commander of the team. The co-pilot of Sarang 2 is Squadron Leader Manoj Manuel, or as we call him, Manny. Captain of Sarang 3 is Squadron Leader Veer Kumar, and his co-pilot today is Squadron Leader Gopi Krishna. And now, get ready, keep looking at the helicopters. They will be approaching from your left this time. On the leader's command, there will be a change. Stand by for the change. From your left this time, ladies and gentlemen. And that was a leader. Here comes the Wick formation. Wick stands for the victory of grit and determination of this passing out course. Ladies and gentlemen, from your left this time. In the cockpit, the pilot in command maintains steady positioning by formatting with one reference aircraft. His co-pilot assists him in maintaining symmetry of the formation, keeps checking the engine parameters and assists the captain in maintaining correct speed, height and direction of the aircraft. While they approach us, let me tell you that this display of precision flying and finesse of maneuvers is the result of intense training, critical examination of each practice sortie, precise teamwork and untiring practice to achieve the best. And now, as you can see, slightly to your right, Sarang 1, Sarang 2 and Sarang 3 positioning for the team's signature maneuver, the Dolphins Leap. Now this maneuver requires a very high degree of skill achieved by strict mind and body coordination. All three helicopters flying abreast will pull up in the vertical plane and carry out a synchronized stall turn to the left. Let me tell you, here it is not just the machines, but the men behind the machines who actually count. So hold your breath, look straight ahead. Sarang 1, 2, and 3, run in for Dolphins Leap. And here they go like a dolphin in the ocean. Sarangs and Dolphins Leap. The team performs under the ever-watchful eyes of the team safety officer. Today's safety officer is squadron leader Mahesh Pundir. Assisting him is safety officer 2, along with a team of videographers. Ladies and gentlemen, the ALH fleet in Indian Air Force has steadily grown from the conventional ALH Mark 1 to Mark 4. The ALH Mark 4 is the weapon system integrated version with its air-to-air and air-to-ground weaponry, along with the modern avionics. It is one amongst the lethal armed platforms with the Indian Air Force today. The flexibility of this aircraft has been time tested from varied operations to swerve displays, as you're witnessing one right in front of you. And on this note, set your gaze straight ahead. The team is rolling in for crossover break. And that was a leader, and this is called the crossover break. Apart from performing these breathtaking displays, this unit has also contributed immensely in several humanitarian assistance and disaster relief operations. To name a few, our Operation Rahat in Uttarakhand in June 2013, during the cyclone OK in December 2017, also during the tragic forest fires in Theni in March 2018, and during Operation Karuna. Ladies and gentlemen, time now to see the same teammates in lower and closer action as they turn inbound towards each other for the vertical synchro maneuver. We call it the double arrow cross. Coming in from your right and left, Sarang 1, 2, and 3. These four birds taking to the skies and return home safely speaks volume about the untiring dedication of the technical team. The onerous responsibility of zero error ritual lies with the senior engineering officer, that is Wing Commander Himanshu Purohit, with his able team of Wing Commander Narendra Singh, Squadron Leader Satish, and Squadron Leader Selvin. The team is all set to let the degree of difficulty go up. The team prepares for the next, called the level mesh. They will be coming in from opposite directions, as you can see. Each helicopter will cross the other within a gap of less than 1 second, and that too on the same plane. Keep your eyes glued, coming in from right and left for level mesh. At this juncture, let me introduce you to the rest of the team, starting with Wing Commander Niket Tiwari, Wing Commander Sneha Kulkarni, who is the first woman display pilot of the team, Squadron Leader Adarsh Thakur, Squadron Leader Karthik, Squadron Leader Patnaik, Squadron Leader TVR Singh, Squadron Leader Karan, Squadron Leader Aditya, Flight Lieutenant Akshay, and Flight Lieutenant Akash, who is the new member of the team. As I say, get ready to feel the heat go up. The helicopters are flying at just 50 meters above the ground, with Sarang 1 and Sarang 3 to your right and Sarang 2 on your left. Keep looking, To your right and left, the helicopters have now turned in towards each other, coming in for the level cross. The team till date has successfully completed approximately 774 displays. It will be a matter of astonishment to you all that while doing these daredevil maneuvers, the aircraft maintains the distance of only one rotor dia. I'm seeing something different, and I think Sarang 3 is in for some surprise, ladies and gentlemen. This time, from your left, Sarang 3 has suddenly decided to hold back. And as he runs in from your left, keep looking. What is he up to? I guess he has decided to show off his pull-up and turns. Here it goes. In a close proximity to you all. He's so close and low. You can wave at him and wish him a good luck. That's Sarang 3, ladies and gentlemen. Integrity and diversity is India's distinction that trickle down to our team as well. Coming from diverse cultural backgrounds, speaking different languages, we all work together towards a common aim of winning hearts and saving lives. Speaking of heart, we have something very special, a beautiful pulsating Sarang heart for our young hearts and for all the young at hearts. The wind has also participated in the heart, and the smoke is not that visible, but still, can I hear it once again for the Sarang heart, ladies and gentlemen? Our team boasts of the finest air warriors of the Indian Air Force, an embodiment of the professionalism and ethos of the IAF. The Sarang team has time and again been called to the fore in humanitarian assistance and disaster relief missions. The team executed these missions with the same finesse with which it has been executing well choreographed maneuvers in front of you. And now we are all standby. Keep looking straight ahead. The team is rolling in for the grand finale of today's display. It's called the Sarang Split. It will be done on the soul-lilting tune of Vande Mataram. The leader will pull up to present a salute to the nation and to the chief guest. During this time, I'll make an attempt to make you listen out to the leader's call. That was a leader. A salute to the nation and to the chief of the air staff. With this, we come to a culmination of Sarang display, and we'll hand over the mic to Suryakiran Aerobatic Team commentator. But before that, on behalf of the Sarang team leader, Wing Commander Girish Komar, I squad leader Arpita Mukherjee, wish once again 207 Corps best of luck and happy landings. Jai Hind!
लहरों से डरकर नौका पार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती। नन्ही चींटी जब दाना लेकर चलती है, चढ़ती दीवारों पर 100 बार फिसलती है। मन का विश्वास रगों में साहस भरता है, मन का विश्वास रगों में साहस भरता है। चढ़कर गिरना, गिरकर चढ़ना नाव से करता है। आखिर उसकी मेहनत बेकार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती। इन्हीं पंक्तियों के साथ हम आपका एक बार फिर स्वागत करते हैं 207 पायलट एवं ग्राउंड ड्यूटी ऑफिसर्स कोर्स के दीक्षांत समारोह में। We are the Suryakiran Aerobatic team and are privileged to put on an aerial ballet in front of you today. It brings us great joy to be back to our alma mater, congratulating the newest officers of the Indian Air Force the Suryakiran way. Ladies and gentlemen, aviation is dependent on weather to a large extent, and the decision to carry out a vertical, horizontal, or a fly past will be governed by today's weather. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Flight Lieutenant Radhamad, the team commentator, and we are the 52 Squadron, the youngest 9 aircraft aerobatic display team in the world. And our commanding officer is Group Captain Anup Singh, Vayu Sena Medal, and he flies as number 1. And gentlemen, presenting the ambassadors of the Indian Air Force, the Suryakiran Aerobatic Team. Them entering the arena in an arrow formation and changing into a diamond formation, a signature 9 aircraft maneuver. And the leader has taken a call to carry out a fly past due to the weather restriction. We do hope to see you soon. And the Suryakiran team wishes the passing out course blue skies and happy landings. Jai Hind.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was indeed a thrilling and splendid performance. Hope you enjoyed the show as much as we enjoyed presenting it to you. Now I request you all to remain seated till the reviewing officer has entered the Nirmaljeet Singh Sekho block. Ladies and gentlemen, arrangement of refreshment has been made in hangar number 1. Spectators are requested to proceed to hangar number 1 for refreshments with the reviewing officer and the newly commissioned officers. All guests are requested to not go beyond the blue line towards the static display of aircraft as the press conference will begin shortly. After the refreshments and departure of the reviewing officer, the guests are welcome to take a closer look at the aircraft parked right in front of you and take photographs if you so desire.
On behalf of all the junior term cadets, we wish our senior termers, now commissioned officers, many happy and safe landings, along with glorious moments in the skies when the opportunities arise. We cherish the moments we have all trained together at this academy. For the dignitaries, guests, instructors, and all our viewers on Doordarshan, and other social media platforms. We thank you for being such a lovely audience. Jai Hind.
Officer Pritinder Pal Singh Bhatt.
Flying Officer Ayush Kotiyal.
Flying Officer Shivangi Suresh Meel.
Flying Officer Sakshi.
Flying Officer Prajot Naren Jadhav.
Flying Officer Neerja.
Flying Officer Yashu Nagar Gujar.
Flying Officer Ajay Singh Shekhawat.
Flying Officer Ankita Ramesh Urmare.
Flying Officer Satinder Singh Sandhu.
Flying Officer Jashandeep Singh.
Flying Officer Ashish Kumar.
Flying Officer Swapnil Dakhne.
Flying Officer Rana Virkeshwar Singh Sisodia.
Flying Officer Yash Srivastav.
Flying Officer Kumar Sachin.
Flying Officer Shivendra Shakti Singh.
Flying Officer Akash Deep.
Flying Officer Karanveer Singh Thakur.
Flying Officer Rudra Pratap Singh.
Flying Officer Akshay Shri NR.
Flying Officer Shilpa Salaria.
Flying Officer Rishabh Singh.
Flying Officer Shivam Anil Kumar Singh.
Flying Officer Rashmi Rajesh.
Flying Officer Saurav Kushwaha.
Flying Officer Pooja Mithilesh.
Flying Officer Mukesh Shauri Yadav.
Flying Officer Raghavendra Soni.
Flying Officer Kanchan Parmar.
Flying Officer Aishwarya Singh.
Flying Officer Yash Punya.
Flying Officer Pankaj Siol.
Flying Officer N. Gajendran.
Flying Officer Sanjay Kumar.
Flying Officer Gopinath Sharat Reddy.
Flying Officer Rohit Banwala.
Flying Officer Rahul Yadav.
Flying Officer Tangram Kangling Ganba Singh.
Flying Officer Pranav Barathe.
Flying Officer Praganda Kumar.
Flying Officer Pranav Paude.
Flying Officer Anish Barman Maji.
Flying Officer Aditya Singh Geherwar.
Flying Officer Tejas Mola.
Flying Officer Sarthak Behel.
Flying Officer Raman Deep.
Flying Officer Abdul Junaid.
Flying Officer Sehajdeep Singh.
Flying Officer Nidhi Usha Bisht.
Flying Officer Sandeep Kumar.
Flying Officer Santosh Kumar Kaushik.
Flying Officer SV Satish.
Flying Officer Prashant Tyagi.
Flying Officer Pragya Chauhan.
Flying Officer Karan Ravindra Gulahe.
Flying Officer Omkar Shashishekar Karde.
Flying Officer Ashutosh Singh Chandel.
Flying Officer Biswanath Raut.
Flying Officer Mayank Rajendra Sharma.
Indian Navy and Indian Coast Guard officers award a wing. Lieutenant Sesha Priyan.
Lieutenant Anurag Kashyap.
Lieutenant Kashish Vora.
Sub-Lieutenant Apurva Gite.
Sub-Lieutenant Sumnesh Bharti.
Sub-Lieutenant Manoj Kumar T.
Assistant Commandant Garvit Chauhan.
Assistant Commandant Sparsh Saini.
Assistant Commandant Vishal Bhaskar.
Assistant Commandant Nitin Yadav.
Assistant Commandant Amit Yadav.
Ladies and gentlemen, the reviewing officer will now felicitate the award winners. President's plaque, first in order of merit, flying branch, goes to Flying Officer Prajwal Kulkarni.
Officer Pratinder Pal Singh Bhatt.
Flying Officer Ayush Kotiyal.
Flying Officer Shivangi Suresh Meel.
Flying Officer Sakshi.
Flying Officer Prajot Narain Jadhav.
Flying Officer Neerja.
Flying Officer Yashu Nagar Gujar.
Flying Officer Ajay Singh Shekhawat.
Flying Officer Ankita Ramesh Urmare.
Flying Officer Satinder Singh Sandhu.
Flying Officer Jashandeep Singh.
Flying Officer Ashish Kumar.
Flying Officer Swapnil Dagne.
Flying Officer Rana Virkeshwar Singh Sisodia.
Flying Officer Yash Srivastav.
Flying Officer Kumar Sachin.
Flying Officer Shivendra Shakti Singh.
Flying Officer Akash Deep.
Flying Officer Karanveer Singh Thakur.
Flying Officer Rudra Pratap Singh.
Flying Officer Aksha Shri NR.
Flying Officer Shilpa Salaria.
Flying Officer Rishabh Singh.
Flying Officer Shivam Anil Kumar Singh.
Flying Officer Rashmi Rajesh.
Flying Officer Saurav Kushwaha.
Flying Officer Pooja Mithilesh.
Flying Officer Mukesh Shauri Yadav.
Flying Officer Raghavendra Soni.
Flying Officer Kanchan Parmar.
Flying Officer Aishwarya Singh.
Flying Officer Yash Punya.
Flying Officer Pankaj Siol.
Flying Officer N. Gajendra.
Flying Officer Sanjay Kumar.
Flying Officer Gopinath Sharat Reddy.
Flying Officer Rohit Banwala.
Flying Officer Rahul Yadav.
Flying Officer Tangram Kangling Ganba Singh.
Flying Officer Pranav Barathe.
Flying Officer Praganda Kumar.
Flying Officer Pranav Paude.
Flying Officer Anish Barman Maji.
Flying Officer Aditya Singh Geharwar.
Flying Officer Tejas Mola.
Flying Officer Sarthak Behel.
Flying Officer Raman Deep.
Flying Officer Abdul Junaid.
Flying Officer Sehajdeep Singh.
Flying Officer Nidhi Usha Bisht.
Flying Officer Sandeep Kumar.
Flying Officer Santosh Kumar Kaushik.
Flying Officer S.V. Satish.
Flying Officer Prashant Tyagi.
Flying Officer Pragya Chauhan.
Flying Officer Karan Ravindra Gulahe.
Flying Officer Omkar Shashishekar Karde.
Flying Officer Ashutosh Singh Chandel.
Flying Officer Biswanath Raut.
Flying Officer Mayank Rajendra Sharma.
Indian Navy and Indian Coast Guard officers award a wing. Lieutenant Sesha Priyan.
Lieutenant Anurag Kashyap.
Lieutenant Kashish Vora.
Sub-Lieutenant Apurva Gite.
Sub-Lieutenant Sumnesh Bharti.
Sub-Lieutenant Manoj Kumar P.
Assistant Commandant Garvit Chauhan.
Assistant Commandant Sparsh Sani.
Assistant Commandant Vishal Bhaskar.
Assistant Commandant Nitin Yadav.
Assistant Commandant Amit Yadav.
Ladies and gentlemen, the reviewing officer will now felicitate the award winners. President's plaque, first in order of merit, flying branch, goes to Flying Officer Prajwal Kulkarni.